President Obama will go down as perhaps the worst president in the history of the United States! Exclamation point at real Donald Trump. Well, at real Donald Trump, at least I will go down as a president.
I haven't made a video in a while, but I thought I'd share some thoughts on the American election. Firstly, I'm not a big Trump fan. Although I did warm to him a bit as the election went on, I still have some pretty sizable reservations about his economic policy and his approach to the Constitution. But I always much preferred him to Hillary, who spent years warmongering in the Middle East and wanted to go to war with Russia, which quite genuinely could have led to the end of our species. Also, she's a huge advocate of all the social justice warrior identity politics rubbish and is just insanely corrupt. So I was very relieved at the result. I also won some money for a friend. They were looking at the polls, which were consistently against Trump, but if you haven't heard of him yet, I suggest you check out Bill Mitchell, I'll post a link below, who throughout the election was pointing out how the polls were being manipulated to give the appearance that everyone was for Hillary, when they were clearly not. Hillary would have been a dreadful president, so what will Trump need to do to be a good one? In my opinion, 3 things. First, improve relations with Russia. Over the last few months, we came incredibly close to war. Early signs are that Putin is open to working with Trump. There is now a real opportunity for the West to build some better relations there. That doesn't mean we need to be BFFs with Putin, but nuclear Armageddon helps no one. Second, uphold the law. The American political system is pretty broken. The rich can buy their way out of prison, and laws are enforced on a discretionary basis. Enforcing the law is fundamentally important, and hasn't been happening for quite some time. There's also just far too much money sloshing around the political system. I mean, look at what the candidates spent on their campaigns. Thirdly, keep showing people that there's more to life than the mainstream media, political correctness, and identity politics. Throughout the campaign, lots of people have become more and more aware of how biased the media are. More and more are looking to independent journalists for their news, or going to the horse's mouth before making up their minds on stuff. Also, having a deeply politically incorrect president for a few years and nothing that bad happening will blow apart all the ridiculous fear-mongering the left always does about anyone who's right-wing being Hitler. Not that Trump is particularly right-wing. They always do this, and this time they went all out. You can kind of understand why so many people are rioting. It's because they still believe the media, and they think the candidate who ran a family hotel business and cameoed in Home Alone 2 is more like Hitler than the candidate who has spent years dropping bombs on children. Doing these things would make him a good president. If he wants to be the greatest president, then he would need to do some of the following: fix the American economy, bring peace to the Middle East, and sort out North Korea. I'll do separate videos on each of these at some point, but basically short of something approaching a miracle, I see all of these being major problems for years to come. I'm not sure any politician could sort these out in 4 or 8 years, but if he can fix a single one, I'll take back my reservations about him and declare him the greatest president ever. It's been a lot of fun following this election. Anyone else find some of the names scarily appropriate? You had the pervert Anthony Weiner, A. Weiner, his laptop being examined by the FBI and a load of Clinton's emails turning up on it. You had Bob Creamer being outed as inciting planned violence for Trump rallies for the DNC, and despite all the media attacking one candidate, he was somehow able to trump it. And big respect to all those on the Trump side who had to put up with a lot of ridicule and being called racist and sexist and all that crap.
And which Republican candidate has the best chance of winning the general election?
Of the declared ones, right now, Donald Trump. I especially like
what about of all of them? I mean, Scott
fake
Walker?
laughter from the audience.
Also thanks to John Oliver, who was as right about Trump as he was about Brexit.
Donald Trump, just last week, he confirmed to the National Review that he is again considering a run in 2016.
Do it. Do it. Look at me. Do it. I will personally write you a campaign check now on behalf of this country, which does not want you to be president, but which badly wants you to run.
I'm hoping the cultural effects of this election are felt the world over. People rejecting political correctness, rejecting the mainstream media, and starting to ask some fundamental questions about what they want out of government. Anyway, it's been a pretty crazy year. Leicester won the Premiership, the UK won its independence, the Cubs won the World Series, and Trump won the White House. What are we going to do next year?